So we are very excited for this next segment of the event, the Project NOSH LA Pitch Slam, presented by ADM. Let's face it, guys, pitch competitions are not uncommon at conferences like these, but we're really confident that we have something special here because we pretty much started this. This might be the first Project NOSH Pitch Slam, but we are now gearing up for the 12th iteration of our new beverage showdown at BevNet Live this December. Needless to say, we have a bit of experience with organizing and executing a pitch competition, and solids, I think, are not going to spill. With all that said, let's get the show on the road here. Today we have 5 entrepreneurs. They're going to be pitching their individual brands. Each presenter will have 4 minutes to deliver their pitch, during which time the judges will be sampling their product up here on stage. Following each presentation is a 3 to 4 minute Q&A session with the judges. After all of these presentations are concluded, the judging panel will convene privately to deliberate and select a single winner. So let's meet our judges. At this point, I think everyone here no doubt recognizes Deb Hanna, Director of Retail Brand Partnership at Starbucks, and Brendan Sinnott of Revelry Brands. We also have Josh Golden, co-founder and managing partner of Alliance Consumer Growth, who's made successful investments in next-generation consumer brands like Way Better Snacks, Crave Jerky, Evil, and more. And finally, we're very happy to have Dina Strelo here. She's the Director of Customer Innovation at ADM, our presenting sponsor for this competition. Guys, a round of applause for our judges, please. All right, I'm excited. Let's get this thing started. First up, we have Martha Pincoffs, founder of the Hot Dang.
Hi, everybody. That's just how I get my nerves out, a little hot dang. Thank you guys for having me. Y'all are tasting what started 7 years ago today. I was thinking back on it. I was 2 months into a year-long challenge of making all of my food at home. So no grocery store run, no prepared food at the grocery store, no restaurants, none of that. I wanted to connect with my food and understand how it made me feel and why where it came from mattered. And that changed my life and got me solidly in touch with the purpose of empowering people to know their food. On one day when I did not want to go to another farmer's market, or I forgot I have slides. There you go. I didn't want to go to another farmer's market, so I looked in my pantry, I had all these grains, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make a veggie burger. I'm not even a vegetarian, but I didn't have much of a relationship with veggie burgers commercially because I didn't really love what they were made of. I didn't know what they were made of. So I made this patty, and I put it in my freezer, and I cooked it, and then I kept making it and cooking it when I needed a meal on my table in 10 minutes or less. So I could stack it up with vegetables. I could put bacon on it if I wanted. I could, it was just really handy. And my friends and family asked me, please, will you sell it in the grocery stores? And I said, sure. Of course, that'll be easy. So I started at the farmer's market, and I made the patties, and I delivered the patties, and I demoed the patties, and it was just, it worked. We had our first, I started on April Fool's in 2011, and we were in Whole Foods by July. So people loved it, and I love it. So the veggie burgers are about empowerment. They're about introducing people back to their food. It's food that you know, it's food that you recognize, it is thoughtfully sourced, it is something to have fun with and enjoy. The category, and health food in general until recently, has been so sad. And I thought, what an opportunity to have some fun and say things like hot dang. So the veggie burgers were swimming along. And then I had 2 kids and got really busy and started feeding my kids breakfast every morning and thinking, God, this kid devours stacks and stacks of waffles. And he's gonna be hungry in a minute. So I got back in the kitchen and started tinkering with my original recipe, really. And made oatmeal that worked in the toaster because I did not want to clean another dish. And I wanted to feed my kids something that I could be proud of in the morning. And that's what this is. That's what you guys are going to taste. And so, Hot Dang is the realization of my mission to introduce people back to their food. I think that if we can break it down and make it a little bit less intimidating and give people a great place to start with something that, first of all, tastes really good, is responsible and reasonably sourced, and empowers them to get food on their table in 10 minutes or less, whether it be breakfast or dinner or lunch. And this is what we do with it. And our community of followers participates and shows us how they do their dang. And I will close by saying my best moment happens every morning now when I ask my son what he wants for breakfast. He's 5 years old. His give a shit meter is like non-existent. And he said, I say, honey, would you like cereal or would you like a breakfast toaster? And he says, I want a Hot Dang breakfast toaster. I'm like,
We'll give you this. Step
Okay.
over to the judges.
judges.
So judges, what do you think? What'd you hear? You tried the product? What are your thoughts? Or questions?
I have a question.
Yeah. Oh. How did you come up with the breakfast toasters name?
Well, it's actually something that it's one of the things that we're looking at changing, because when I describe it now out in the world, I call it toastable oatmeal, which the light bulb goes on a lot quicker. So I think our next packaging iteration will reflect toastable oatmeal, not breakfast toasters. But we had all sorts of crazy names. Direct is best.
Great job on the pitch there. I was wondering, it looks like it's a frozen product, so shelf life, distribution.
Shelf life is, we put a year on it. It's in the freezer. In the freezer is our preservative, so it's solidly safe. You could probably speak to that. Distribution, we're coast to coast with both products. It just depends on, it's a kind of grab and go of who has what where. But we're Whole Foods, Safeway, H-E-B, great retailers.
What's the price point?
It's between $4.99 and $5.99, depending on the retailer.
I love the name. It makes me want to know more.
Thank you.
Sitting, is that on? There we go. We're sitting in the midst of frozen food greatness here with Brendan, who's a legend of the frozen food industry, and our firm was lucky enough to be a part of that. But what do retail buyers say? What's the biggest pushback that you get when you go in to pitch this?
Well, there are two distinct product lines. The burgers get pushed back because it's a crowded space, and we have to go in and hammer on taste, because I promise if you put the burgers up against any other burger in that category, we win on taste. And then the retailers that choose breakfast have to be brave. But what we're going after is the waffle set. So there is a lot of real estate there to work with. So the braver retailers will take a chance on us and give us, a test. The thing demos like crazy. When we demo it, it sells like cases and cases and cases. And it really, it solves a real issue, at least for me.
Why waffles and burgers at the same time with kind of the same look and feel? And do they sit next to each other when you sell them?
They don't.
So it's two separate
They usually have
categories.
different buyers.
Okay.
So that we started with the burgers, and we learned, the learning there was that it is a crowded category, and it's not a huge category yet. I think plant-based eating is growing, and really it was the need for me that came, and I wanted to put that on the shelf, and I saw so many doors of waffles, and I was like, we have to be able to do a little bit better. So I saw a space opportunity and an opportunity to have just sort of like a different version of the brand out in the world that reinforces the burgers. The burgers reinforce the breakfast, but they're both fun. They're both engaging.
I had to pick one of the two. Which would it be?
I would pick the breakfast. It's going to turn faster. I eat that every single day, and I'll go through 3 boxes a week. And when I eat the burgers, I don't eat them as frequently, so I would pick the Terns.
All right, well, on that tough choice, I think it's on to our next, so I'll let
Thanks.
John tell us who's coming up to stage.